Hello, I am Brian Galbraith. I'm the owner and founder of Galbraith Family Law. We're a law firm of family and divorce lawyers with offices in Barrie, Newmarket, Oakville, and St. Catharines. If you're in the separation process or contemplating it, it can be overwhelming. So today in this video, I'm going to share with you the first 10 steps toward separation that you should take. So I hope this is helpful to you. The first step is to look after yourself. You know, when you're on an airplane, the flight attendants will say, put the oxygen mask on your own face before you try to help anyone else. And that principle also works when you're going through a separation. You need to be strong and healthy and clear thinking to make the best decisions for your family. So you know what to do. You need to eat properly. You need to avoid junk food. You need to sleep properly. You need to avoid excessive drinking and drug use. You need to get exercise. And you need to surround yourself with positive, supportive people. I encourage you to even consider reaching out to a counselor to help you manage your emotions during this time so that you can make good decisions for yourself and your family. So look after yourself. The next thing is to make sure you and your family are safe. So, you know, if there's been a history of domestic violence or high conflict between you and your partner or spouse, you need to make a plan. And you can go to your local shelter and they'll help you develop a safety plan so that you are protected and your children are protected in case something happens when the separation is revealed. So make a plan to ensure you and your family are safe. The third step is to look at all joint bank accounts and credit cards that you have and decide whether or not you need to protect yourself by freezing those accounts. If you could trust your spouse or partner, that's okay. You could leave it as a joint account. But if you're afraid that your spouse or partner might rack up a lot of debt or empty the joint account, you maybe should freeze it to protect yourself going forward. The next step is to start gathering important documents. So we'll need 3 years of tax returns, we'll need bank statements, credit card statements, mortgage statements, loan statements, any paperwork that relates to your finances or expenses, any large expenses of your children, such as daycare expenses, university expenses. We eventually will need all of those documents. So you might as well start collecting them. It's a tedious process, but we're going to need them eventually. So do yourself a favor and start collecting them now and putting them in a safe place. The next step is to start thinking about your children and the impact that the separation will have on them. Start to think about how best to support the children, how to come up with a plan so that the time that they spend with both parents is reasonable and takes into account their schedules and the children's schedules. It's ideal if you can develop a parenting plan schedule before you tell the children you're going to separate. Now, that's not always possible, but if you can eliminate that uncertainty for the children, that's ideal. And then you also need to communicate with your children that it's not their fault, that you love them, that it's okay for them to love both parents, and that they will have a meaningful relationship with both parents, assuming that is appropriate for the children. So the children are a priority, but if you do some planning, you can minimize the impact on them of the separation and divorce. So start thinking about your children's needs right now. Of course, less important than the children are the household contents, but you need to start thinking about that as well. What you purchased is yours, what your spouse purchased is theirs, and a lot of it will be jointly purchased, and you need to come to an agreement as to who gets what. Often this is done by the clients themselves without the lawyers being involved to save money and just to be practical. Of course, you need to make sure that any sentimental items are protected and that you have care of them and they're put in a safe place. But normally what people do is create a list what they want and they just negotiate the list with their spouse so that everybody feels like it's a reasonable sharing of the household contents. The next step is to avoid serious conflict whenever possible. One of the worst things that can happen is criminal charges. It has a huge impact on the whole family. So if there is conflict and tension between you and your spouse or partner, back away, sleep on it, look for somebody to intervene on your behalf, remove yourself from the situation, do whatever you need to do to de-escalate the situation, to bring down the tension and avoid a situation of conflict and avoid certainly criminal charges. Keep cool. We'll get through this together. The next thing to consider is your employment. Do you have good, solid employment? Everyone has an obligation to become economically self-sufficient insofar as is practical. So if you have an opportunity to improve your employment or if you have been a stay-at-home parent and now's the time, if possible, for you to seek employment or come up with a plan. How are you going to raise your skill level, educate yourself so that you can eventually get back into the workforce and become economically self-sufficient. So start thinking about the money issue and how you're going to raise income for yourself going forward. It's super important. The next step is to educate yourself. Divorce is a complicated process, as is separation. So take some time to learn the basics. Our website, galbraithfamilylaw.com, has many, many articles, videos, blogs, a lot of resources and information that you can access for free so that when you do eventually meet with one of our lawyers, you understand the basics of family law, and it will help you also relieve some of the uncertainty. That's one of the most stressful parts of a separation or divorce, is just not knowing what's next and how it all works. So get on our website, take some time and learn some of the basics and get some of those answers before you even meet with one of our lawyers. The next step is for you to book a consultation with one of our lawyers. It's an opportunity for you to spend about an hour with one of our lawyers. Bring with you your questions and you'll get answers. And they'll seek to understand your story, your priorities, your worries, your concerns, and then they'll give you a roadmap moving forward as to how to get everything resolved. We have clients always telling us that the consultation just really changed their life in so many ways because it helped them understand where they're at and the next steps in their life. There's no obligation beyond the consultation. If you don't like the lawyer, or who knows, don't want to proceed, that's okay. You can stop it after the consultation. But I encourage you to get that consultation so you can really understand your options, rights, and obligations. So call the office. Our intake team will be pleased to line you up with just the right lawyer who can help you take the next step by having that consultation. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and more importantly, share it with somebody who you think might benefit from it. If you're ready to take the next step, which is to book a consultation, go to our website, galbraithfamilylaw.com. There's a link in the description below. Divorce is complex. Divorce is hard. I went through my own divorce. I know how hard it is, and I just want you to know that at Galbraith Family Law, we're here to help. We really want to help you resolve the issues in a cost-effective, timely manner so that you can close this chapter of your life and move on. When you're ready, call us.